everybody, my name's Steve, I'm the British Railroader, and welcome to my model railroad room for what is the penultimate video from my great American adventure. Yes, it's hard to believe, but it's almost over. It's been actually almost a month since I got back from the USA, and I've churned out quite a few videos. Anyway, I've got one more after this, which will be about the New York subway, but more about that next time. But this video is just about two trips that I made whilst I was in New York. So the first was on the 15th of April, where I went to Grand Central Terminal and caught the train up along the Hudson line to Ossining. I went to Ossining because, as you may know, I'm a big fan of the TV series Mad Men, and that's where Don Draper comes from. What I didn't know is it's also the home of Sing Sing Prison. So, you know, luckily I didn't get anywhere near that. I went up to Ossining, rode the train, stayed at the station for a little while, saw a couple of trains go through, and then caught the train back to Grand Central. The next day, I went over to Hoboken Terminal. I went over there using the PATH trains, and I went over I didn't have a plan. Wasn't going to catch a train, and I didn't need to catch a train because there were so many New Jersey Transit trains coming in and out of the station that it was just fantastic. So what I've got for you is just a load of footage interspersed with the odd still here and there. I'm probably not going to be doing too much talking over it. I'm just going to let the footage kind of speak for itself, but I'll put captions where needed. Enjoy. Okay, so I said probably no voiceover, so as is typical with me, let's do a voiceover. So when I got to Grand Central, I went down onto one of the platforms before I went to catch my train. What we're seeing here is not my train. This is actually my train that I called out to Ossining. But I wanted to show this first because I got a real surprise once I got to the end of this train. What I found at the head of this train was one of Metro North's P32 ACDNs, number 222 in the New Haven Heritage Scheme. Now there are others painted in the New Haven McGuinness Scheme, but they're general service ones with Connecticut Department of Transport, but this is one of the special heritage units. So I was really pleased that I got to see it because I just wasn't expecting it at all. So the journey out of Grand Central takes you along, well, the line that I went on takes you along the Hudson River. You kind of pass through the Bronx and, well, Harlem, and then the Bronx, and then up the coast of the river, and it's absolutely beautiful. One of the reasons I wanted to do this particular line of Metro North was because of the views that you get, and it's always difficult to film from a train. As you can see, you can see the dirt on the outside of the windows. A common theme amongst the trains that I travelled on in and around America. But it was a journey that I wanted to do because you get to see bits of America that I'd seen in films, you know, and seen on TV. Now, obviously, as I said, I was going up to Ossining. And I literally got off at Ossining Station, had a little look around, took a couple of photographs. It's a very nice 4-platform station. It's a commuter station. There's not really much more to it. And whilst I was there, I was able to see a couple of trains coming in and out. So this is a Bud M3. Yes, the same kind of M3s as are used on the Long Island Railroad. The pickups are slightly different because they use underrunning third rail on Metro North as opposed to overrunning third rail on the Long Island Railroad. and I think there's a different light configuration at the front, but basically the same train, and it's good to see them. Again, I was able to see one of the loco hauled trains heading up to Poughkeepsie. So this is another P32ACDM, just like the New Haven one we saw earlier, though obviously this one's in the standard Metro North colours. It was great, and you can just see, he's just gone out of shot now, but there's a young guy who was on the other platform and obviously doing exactly what I was doing, and filming the trains as they come in and out. It always amazes me to this day how big American trains are compared to what we have over here in the UK. You know, we think they look big over here. They're huge. They are absolutely huge. What I decided was that to get back to Grand Central, because I was due to meet up with one of my subscribers who works at Grand Central, and we'd been messaging. So I had to get one of the next two trains back into Grand Central. And I just thought it would be fun, rather than getting on an EMU, if I could get one of the express trains. So like the train we've just seen, which is used, obviously has a P32 at one end and uses the push-pull Comet-style coaches. And it just so happened the next train was going to be one of those. And here it is coming in. I think Rapido do these coaches. They do 3-car sets, and it's one of those things that I kind of keep meaning to look into, but doesn't really fit with my Long Island theme. But these are getting quite old, these coaches now. But it was interesting, sort of riding one of them. Now, I did manage to do a little bit more filming on the way back to Grand Central. We've got one of the EMUs. I think these are Kawasaki EMUs. I could be wrong. And these are the ones that they're Metro North, but I think they're also run in conjunction with the Connecticut Department of Transport, which they co-run a lot of trains together. And you see with the coaches that some of the Comet coaches have blue stripes, some have red stripes, and they're just interspersed. Now, as we were coming into back onto sort of Manhattan Island, we went over this bridge and I just caught a glimpse. I wasn't actually looking for this. Just caught a glimpse of a Metro North Works train. You just got a flash of the locomotive there, but that was really quite. I wasn't looking for it, and it was great to see. Anyway, get back to Grand Central Terminal. I did meet up with my friend. We had a lovely chat. I had another look around Grand Central. It is an amazing place. If you've never been and you're going to New York, you've got to have a visit. Just go and see it, stand in it, get a drink and maybe catch a train. So the next day I caught the PATH train to Hoboken Terminal. Now the PATH is a subway system, but it isn't actually part of the New York subway. It's the Port Authority Transit or Trans-Hudson, and serves some stations in Manhattan, but mostly over in New Jersey. It's fairly much like the subway, but the trains are a little bit cleaner, shall we say, and a little bit more modern. Anyway, Hoboken Terminal. Look at it. It's a beautiful building, and it was a place that I had on my list of places to go. When I went over there, got off of the PATH train, went up to the main terminal, had a look around. I mean, look at it. It's architecturally, it is just beautiful. It's quite large as a station. I think there's 19 platforms, and you have got electric trains coming in, but there are also diesel hauled trains, trains running pull mode. You can see here one of the electrics in the Atlas wrap. We've got an F40 here which has come over from Metro North. There's also the Hudson Bergen Light Rail, which terminates at this end, right next to the main coach yard. We had this locomotive just idling there, and again, you get some great views. The other thing about this terminal is that it's also a ferry terminal. So I caught the ferry back over to Manhattan, basically to get this view of the whole terminal, which is just amazing. So what I'm going to do is I am going to leave you with just some footage that I took whilst I was in the station. A lot of it's just me wandering backwards and forwards, looking at these amazing trains just lined up, in the station for all to see. So I hope you enjoy this, and I've also got a little bit of footage of the light rails system, which I'll tag on to the end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. I really liked traveling up to Ossining. It was nice going on the train, using some of those, traveling in some of those comic cars and on the various MUs and whatever. I also really enjoyed my time over at Hoboken Terminal. If you're in New York and you're into trains, you can get a ferry over there from Lower Manhattan, or you can do what I did, which is get the PATH train, um, which is obviously, people think of it as just part of the New York subway, but it's not. It's the Port Authority from New Jersey. But it's great to get over there. Great to see the trains. Also great to see the light rail as well. So there's lots to offer if you really like me, if you're really into trains. But that's it from this video. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Every little thumbs up helps. And if you haven't done so already, then consider subscribing to the channel. It's absolutely free. And the more subscribers I get, the more visibility my channel gets. When you do subscribe, a little bell's going to come up. Click it, press all, and you'll be notified of all my videos as they are released. As always, if you have any comments, then please either post them below, or you can email me on this email address that's coming across the screen right now. I'm also available on all of these social media sites, so feel free to go on, take a look, get in touch, all of that kind of thing. Now, YouTube has an algorithm. It's going to suggest a video for you. It's going to be down here somewhere. If you haven't seen it already, go and take a look. If you have seen it, go and have a look at the channel. There'll be loads of videos on there, and I guarantee there's something you're going to enjoy. But that's it from me. My name's Steve. I'm the British Railroader, and I'm saying goodbye from my model railroad run. Bye-bye.